Hey everyone, this is episode 459 of OotiniCast, and let's see, let me get back to my notes here. This is the raw version of the show going out live in front of a video audience. And yeah, we're going to do this live. Any flubs or errors, all intact. Then we will clean up the audio a bit, put that out as a podcast tomorrow. The raw version, the raw video feed will also eventually go out, usually tonight, as a feed onto, or as a video onto YouTube once we're done as well. And yeah, so we've got Kitty's playing with his kitty there.
Yeah,
little Nexu back there playing with a kitty toy.
He needs a little love.
He really is a sweet cat.
He is. He's incredibly sweet. Hello, chat. I need to make that bigger. Oh man.
All right, and let me go ahead and tweet out that this is going.
Oh, good idea. Pop over to Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Tweet your
459. So yeah, almost 460 of these puppies.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really kind of is. All right, 459 live now, tweeting it out. Here we go.
It has been tweeted, and it has been retweeted.
Yes. And yeah, we had some fun with the Mind Trap this week, so that was good.
Yeah.
Not a ton of votes, but a lot of answers to it, which was fun. So we'll go through those. Cool. And yeah, and since it is the top of the hour, I think we can get going.
All right, ready when you are.
Just gonna have some water, and I'm still, even though it's been like 5 episodes, I'm still paranoid about choking on my water now.
It's good for the ratings.
Yeah, that was crazy. All right, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast. We don't miss. This is episode 459, being recorded on Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. I'm your host, Chill. With me is my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty, how you doing?
Hey, Chill. I'm doing wonderfully, thank you.
Yeah, and of course I went a little bad batch for this quote today, so...
That's what it was from.
Yes.
As soon as you told me, I knew exactly who it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Recca.
Good old Recca.
Recca. Yes, so what you been up to since the last show?
Well, since the last show, I got a bit of a cold, and it went right into my throat. I went for the first time since I started streaming, I missed an entire week of streams.
Wow. Yeah, I think that is the first time for you for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's weird. I've heard other streamers say that a week in streaming time is like a month of normal time.
Yeah.
Or at least it feels like it.
Right.
But oh man.
And in terms of like getting your audience back and stuff too, because like people fall out of the habit of watching you every day.
Yeah.
And, yeah, absolutely.
But I just figured that's there's so much to check out on Twitch. Go check some stuff out and come on back. But things are rolling again and everything's all good. But
excellent.
I didn't get anything done around the house
during
that week because I just felt like crap.
Yeah, you would.
I didn't really play the game much because I felt like crap, which is weird because you think, oh, I'm not feeling well. I'll just game all day and it'll be great. No, nothing sounded fun. I wasn't,
I remember,
in the mood for anything. Even watching movies, I was like, I don't want to watch a movie.
I remember I caught you online once or twice, and then you were off like really quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. What I do is I'll craft. So I'll set up a certain characters, because a bunch of alts have the same crafting stuff.
Oh yeah.
And my idea, I don't know, whatever reason it is, I'll just send them out and then go to the next one, send them out, and then go to the next one, send them out. So you know, it'll just be this perpetual loop of crafting.
Yeah.
You know, because I'll have just enough, you know, characters that I'll once I'm done sending them out, I'll go back to the top and just start the process over. And I'll just do that all day. You know, just sit around watching YouTube videos about cats.
Right.
Whatever.
Are you making good bank on that?
Oh no, I'm
crafting?
just doing it for myself.
Oh wow.
I don't really ever sell anything. I have tens of thousands of, you know, underwear gear. What is Underworld? We always call it underwear now. But so I just have so much stuff, but I'm just like, I'll use it. Or, you know, if somebody needs some, like if Kitty crafts, I'll be like, there you go.
Yeah. That's
20,000 of those things. So.
Right. I noticed on the Loken guild, there's like already like 1 billion credits on it.
Yeah, people have been really, really.
Yeah, I donated some too, but it was like it hardly feels necessary. It was like it was like 960 million. So I just chucked like 10 million in there. It was like nothing, but it was kind of funny. It was like, oh yeah, and it's a new guild. They'll probably need some stuff. Right.
Well, it's
1 billion
like
credits.
A lot of the people in the guild, in that Loken guild, they already have everything in the game.
Right, exactly.
So, which is cool. You know, that's what, you know, at the end, we'll talk about it in a second, but at the end of the event, it's like, go grab something that you don't have, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then people are like donating stuff, and it's great. It's just fun. It was good. Which brings me to the next topic. We did our Loken for Love event, and Chill was there.
Yeah, it was going to be. It was going to be that first Saturday after the last show, but then that's when you were sick.
Yeah,
and so it got bumped to this last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a ton of fun.
I had so much fun.
Yeah, me too.
I had a blast. We did some. What did we do? We did the strolling of the Lokens, which is where we all meet up on Fleet and we walk around Fleet, which is totally goofy, and it is so much fun. And of course, we're all dressed. You know, our characters all look like Loken, and then we don't do a group because that way we can have our Loken companions out for double the Loken juiciness.
Right.
And it's pretty fun. And we don't say anything. So all of a sudden there's a bunch of Lokens walking around on Fleet. And people are like, what's the deal with the Lokens? And we're like, Loken for love, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then we leave there and we went and we did a little parkour. We went and got the sniper that
thing on the Fleet.
On the Fleet, which was really fun.
In the Cartel Bazaar area.
Yeah. We took some pictures. I gotta put those pictures out. They're really, really, they're great.
Yeah.
Because everybody's a different version of Loken. And it's funny because people put moods on. So they all have the same face. They're all just a little bit different. And then they're all like, you know, with the moods on that are just so funny looking. So that was a lot of fun. And then after that, we went and did the Cantina crawl for the achievement. And then after that,
I didn't do that actually. I probably should. I've definitely clicked on as many of him as I can. Like whenever I do a new planet, but I know I haven't gotten that achievement yet. So I guess at some point I should just look up the achievement and see how many there are and just go there.
It's just kind of fun. I always liked it because he says some pretty funny stuff, and the actor that does his voice is really great. I like it. It's just fun. It's one of those little things that are just kind of goofy and fun to do in the game.
Right.
After that, we went and I had a bunch of Orokeet eggs.
Right.
So we went to Tatooine. We got our glass of water and got the Orokeets, and then our closing ceremony is, of course, the strolling of the Loken for the second time.
Nice. And
we got on and did that, and it was really, really fun. And we ended up. Someone posted it on Reddit. there was a Reddit post
Oh, nice.
about the Lokans, and we were like, no way, that's hilarious. So that was great. And we're going to do another one for Kitty's birthday / St. Patty's Day next month. So same old goofy stuff. And of course, Jill, you're always welcome to come. And anybody else, any of the Lokans is welcome to come. And
Fun. When is that going to be again?
It's going to be next month around, I don't know exactly. I don't know the exact date yet.
Okay.
But it's the Saturday after the 19th.
Okay. And Treats is thinking about doing
3:25
because the next Rackle event is coming out. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, we'll probably do it then.
Right.
You know, because the Rackle events.
Yeah, exactly. Because my Loken doesn't have a Loken because I chose him to be a bounty hunter. I have a whole backstory on him. We talked about it on another show, and but because of that, I can't just easily get him back. I have to do the Rackle event. There just hasn't been one since I leveled him up.
And you can do half of that right now, and then the other half when the event happens.
Right. Yeah, there's that first bit where you talk to him and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's a fun little quest to get Loken back.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great companion too. We've talked about it many times how he turns into
a Rackle if you're doing the fighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he stays as a human if he's a healer.
Right. We also realized that if you change his outfit, he'll still turn into a Rackle. I know that there was like a bug a while back where he wouldn't turn into a Rackle.
Really?
Or maybe I got.
Would he just run up to people and start beating on them with his fists?
Yeah. He just acted normal.
Just start and whack the snot out of him with his fists.
I may have got confused that if you use a different skin. No, that's not true because I have him in he's got the Rackle virus. And
okay.
He turns and stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Also, if you have a Loken companion and you want to get the Rackle virus, you don't get it through the Cartel Bazaar or vendors or the Rackle event vendors. You actually get it on, isn't it Ilum, babe?
Yeah,
the Ilum. Yeah, the Ilum security key vendor.
Oh,
and you can only get him on Imperial side. So. And he looks awesome.
Right. Well, all of the ones in the guild will be Imperial anyway because it's an Imperial guild, so that's easy enough.
Perfect.
Excellent.
During the weekend, we did a charity fundraiser.
Yes, you did. That was fun.
Yeah, and we went. We'll do $100. You know, if we can raise $100 for our charity, and that charity was PDX Cat Catchers. It's a nonprofit organization here in Portland that catches stray and feral cats, neuters, spays them, and then lets them back out.
Right.
So keeping those numbers down.
Yeah,
and,
important.
We hit our goal in the first hour on Saturday, and by Sunday, we got to $420.
Nice.
From the generosity of our fantastic community, including yourself, Jill. I know that you.
Oh yeah,
you threw a little love into that.
Yep.
Too.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was great. I can't wait to contact them and be like, hey, you know, our community is super cool and.
Here's 400 and whatever bucks.
$20. I couldn't believe it. And what was funny is that Kitty and I are like, okay, we're going to do $100. If we get the 100, great. If we don't, we'll
make up the difference or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
You know? And in the first hour we hit it and we're like, oh my God.
we underestimated.
That is so awesome. But I wanted to thank you guys again. Thank you so much for raising that money.
That is awesome.
It is really going to help some real life kitty cats.
Yeah.
So, and lastly, I am frothing at the bit about Mando season 3. I
know, it kind of snuck up on me. I didn't even really hear much about it, and then like, well, there was a video, but that was a while ago, and it's like
released another one too.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that one. I haven't gotten that one. Yeah, but yeah,
wear your
coming
headset
out
when you watch it, because the sound is so good.
Ooh, okay. It's tempting, but I usually watch it with my wife, and so we were watching it, just over speaker. But I could always like check it out later on, like check out certain scenes with the headphones on for sure.
It's funny. I didn't know that they had released another trailer, and I was listening to a Star Wars podcast, and they played it on the podcast, and it was just audio, and I hadn't seen it yet.
Oh, nice!
And I went, "Oh my god, this sounds so good!" So I am now. I want to watch all of it with headphones on. But tomorrow, don't forget, fellow nerds, that Mando season 3 starts.
Right.
And that's about it for me, Chill.
All right. Let's see who's in the chat. Yeah, 01 Ellis here, 152 Domino's here, LSC Dre, Chili Bones is here, Drapsnat, Jack70, Kata, Kitty Treats, Retox Detox, Sergeant America TTV, Starry Shaber are the ones that's showing. Although I think there's more. Nifa just showed up, and we've got other folks here too. Anyway, hi everyone. So let's see, what have I been up to? I got a couple of new things in the game, things I've never gotten before, and that have been out for a long time, but I have never done them before. The CZ198 mount, finally got it. It's yes, yeah. Because what happened was, I think for a while, like when it first sort of happened, I was checking once in a while, and then I just wasn't doing CZ198, or I just kind of forgot where it was, or. But basically, like, there's those ramps in the main room, like the biggest room at the end where the boss is, and the ramps that go up that you don't necessarily have to go up to finish the missions. So a lot of people don't go up there, I don't think, but some people do. I see people up there, but not like everyone who does the missions goes up there. And then at the very highest ramp, there's like this vehicle, and next to it is a gold star. Well, usually it's a gold star, and if it's a gold star, that's not what you want. I usually beat the snot out of the gold star, not because I'm going to go check them again, but just to give someone else a chance to get a respawn. Because, I mean, if everyone just goes up, looks, sees it's a gold star, and doesn't ever fight him, it'll never respawn into the champion that you need to actually get the vehicle. So, but yeah, so I finally saw the champion there. I was like, ooh, we got to do this now. So I immediately like just sprinted over there and started beating on him to make sure I was tagged. Awesome. And sure enough, the vehicle, it's bound to legacy, at least nowadays. So, cool. So I just put it in my storage. I wasn't sure who I wanted to give it on. It's not my absolute favorite type of vehicle in the game. It's very pretty. I like the sleek lines. It's the kind with the sleek lines and the two kind of pointy fins out front and stuff like that.
Like a car.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a 50s car. Yeah, exactly. This one's in sort of a very lovely metallic green, very, very nice looking vehicle. But it's a little big. Like some of the big ones I found a little awkward to like ride around in. So I have to like really want it on that character. But plus they're kind of rare. So I figure I'll figure out who I want it on, and then I'll go ahead and pop it on that person.
Go peacocking on that.
Probably, yeah. It'll probably be one of my mains. I actually bought a bunch of the Vectron mounts. There's a bunch of them in the game. Yeah, because they all have the same sort of 50s vehicle, sort of sleek, finned vehicle sort of aesthetic to it. And because of that, it really works well with my mains, which are based, the cosplay is based on Corbin and Leeloo Dallas from Fifth Element, and that also has like that sort of same vibe, like with the taxi he drives and stuff like that. And so I put a bunch of them on him, and eventually I'll unlock them and she'll get them too. I don't have all the Vectrons in the game, but I got several of them, and they're really nice. There's some really, really pretty Vectron type mounts out there. It's not just the ones there are some that are like the ones from the Nightlife event. There's a couple on the cartel market that are also like those, but there's also some other ones that are still Vectron, and they're still in the same general feel, but they're very different. Some of them have interesting like flares where they move things out or swap things around and stuff. It's good stuff.
I'm looking at them right now. Those are cool.
There's some really nice ones. And the other thing that I got that I've never had in the game before are the cartel mission data cubes. So there's the data cubes you get them from the cartel market, and it's a little mission.
Yeah.
And I think once upon a time you actually got like XP and stuff from them, but they got rid of that. Like I did them all, of course, because and I checked it out.
I just did them.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yes. I didn't get any XP.
What level were you?
Well, I was. It wasn't. I can't remember. You know what? It might have been because of that. It might have been, but it wasn't giving me anything else either. Like, it just gave me credits, and it gave me the choice of either a
XP boost.
Right, an XP boost or a Valor boost. You can choose one or the other. So I have now like 8 Valor boosts on that. No, that's right. It was a character who was not level 80. She did not get any XP.
Weird, because I just did it and it topped my character. I almost got another level doing those.
I don't know. Maybe it gives experience only up to a certain level, because she was like 78. She was like pretty high level.
I did it on was like I want to say 18 or 19 maybe.
It's possible then that there is XP, but maybe up to level 50 or something like that, because this would have come out around. You can tell from the thing that happens, because when you go there, you go to Nar Shaddaa, and then you get a little thing from the Shroud, and the Shroud's like talking, basically. It's not exactly new information, but it's sort of like hinting about stuff that's happening with the Hutts. You kind of learn like where the Shroud comes into that story a little bit. So there's sort of a little bit of actual lore there. Mostly, though, he's just like, he's trying to figure out what the Hutts want and stuff like that. And it's sort of interesting, but it doesn't really give you anything that you don't get from the story for the most part. At least, from what I've seen. If you pay attention to both the Republic and the Empire Rise of the Hutt cartel story, you'll pretty much get all that information that you get from those. So you're not really missing out on anything. It's just a nice little thing to have happen. Yeah. And I mean, eventually I'll unlock them. And that way, if I'm ever out of XP boosts on a character, I'll have 8 more for them.
And they only cost 5 cartel coins to unlock.
Right. I didn't bother even checking, but yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I'll probably just do that at some point then soon. You also get like this gear box. Once you unlock them all, it's like an achievement thing, I'm pretty sure. And
it's a armor set. Yeah,
it's an armor set, and it's kind of nice looking. It's sort of agenty or smugglery, that sort of style. Like the vest and that sort of thing. It's a nice one. It's not there's other ones in the game that are kind of like it, especially nowadays. This would have been a long time ago. Maybe it would have been more exciting back then, but it's still nice to have. So yeah, so that was interesting. So I got all those. I just found them on the GTN. Like they were
How much were they?
They were 100 million each. So I spent 800 million getting them. But
okay.
Yeah. But
that's great.
Sometimes you'll see individual ones on the GTN. There's also a box which apparently has all of them. But I didn't know that at the time that I was looking at the GTN. They just someone was just selling them all individually, so I just bought them all. Cool. But I think that was actually a semi-reasonable price, because I think I looked on later, and it's like people were charging much more than that per cube. So 800 million, a lot, but it was fun to see. So that was kind of cool. Let's see. Talia got up to level 80. I did skip Coffee Kotet, and then once you get to, once you do Osis, it's like the XP just goes, it's huge amounts of XP. It's like 1 million per turn in, and it's like you do Osis, Onderon, and then she did ding 80 on Mixshaw, which is what I've had happen before, and I was kind of expecting this time, and is exactly what happened this time as well. So I'm really liking the spec in general. This is Madness, the equivalent of Madness Sorcerer. It's Balanced Sage, so it's the ranged one. And then I especially like the one where you pop the dots with your project, because you put on the dots, and then when you hit project, it does all the damage that the dots would have done all at once. But then your project has a longer cooldown, unfortunately, but it's cool. It makes up for it. So now I'm going to have to try 80 level PvP on her this week. I've been gearing her up as well. She's pretty set. She's not maxed out or anything, but she's got reasonably good gear. So I'm looking forward to trying that this week. And that's going to be fun.
Yeah. There's something so gratifying about that. Popping those the dots. Just having them just go. And the animation, I'm not familiar with the animation on that particular combat class, but on other ones that I am familiar with, it's cool looking.
Yeah.
And then you just see damage come up.
Right. I did enjoy the Loken event. I put in my notes, but I knew we'd talk about it during your part, and we did. So I don't think I need to add anything. I guess except for one thing. I had the achievement for talking to the sniper before, because when it came up, I like took it as a challenge, and I just finally parkoured my way over to him. Mm-hmm. That was ages ago, and I hadn't tried it in a long time. I couldn't remember exactly how you did it. So eventually, I just waited until someone was like kind of in the right area, and then I just hollered first, and then I was up there. It's like, okay, that'll work.
That's why I always take my guardian whenever we're doing any kind of hollows.
Yeah, and it's nice if you
hunts.
Right, and it's nice if you have someone who's really good at parkouring and actually has the pull. If they're a sorcerer or a sage, and they can actually pull someone. But that's yeah. I guess you could do both technically, because what you could do is you could choose a spec, that has it, and then change your loadout, become a sorcerer sage and then pull. So,
you're right.
Yeah, because assassin shadow can tilt, can blip to people, although they blip, I think, just to enemies. I think, can you do it to both? See, now agents and smugglers can do it to either, which I really love, by the way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's actually any target for them. Yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, I did some bounty hunter for like the first time in forever. So I actually got my 50th bounty. For all the years that there's been the bounty event, I've done 50 of them total.
No way! Holy crap! That's
so
awesome.
My artificer, who is Lara Croft, and I did that because like the things for artifice are treasure hunting. It's like treasure hunting, and what's the other one that makes sense? Anyway, it all makes sense if you're doing a Lara Croft cosplay. So she's my artificer, and so now she has the white and pink dye, because we did like the Loken event, but it was originally going to be a Valentine thing, so we did all the pink and stuff. But pink dyes are kind of rare in the game, and they're kind of expensive. So I made a bunch. I put a couple in the Loken Guild if anyone else wants to make a pink and white outfit. And I made others, and I'll probably end up selling or keeping for future cosplays or whatever.
I got the schematic too.
Oh, nice! Yeah. And actually, I really, now that I kind of did it a few times, it's like, I can. This is actually pretty fun. It did make me want to actually do the Kingpin ones, but I didn't have enough left over to do any of those. So I actually did get like 5 at the very end. I didn't bother unlocking any of the Kingpins. You need 5 per planet, and so it's going to be a while. As I understand it, what some people recommend is that because you can only do a Kingpin on one time per character, is you shouldn't try to unlock it on the same character for all of them. Yeah, because I mean, it's useful for that character if that's really going to be your main, like, going forward, but you'll only be able to do one every time it comes around, unfortunately. So what I'll probably do is like the 5 that I've been doing, because you also can only do one of the regular missions once a day, and not once a week, but sort of the same idea. Probably just take some characters like that and then give each of them, each one of them the one of the Kingpin bounties. It'll have to be characters that I'm sure are going to stick around, like my banking alt and my 2 current mains and
crafting alt.
Stuff like that. But because they always hang around. Yeah.
Well, you get a nice chunk of how am I having any trouble with this? Conquest. You get a big, nice chunk of conquest for doing that one. So, and I know you do the same thing that I do. You get
try to max it out and stuff.
Thing and all that. So, that's a nice way to get one up. I think for the Kingpin one, it's really high. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember the exact number, but it's nice.
I looked at my achievements. I've literally never gotten any of them, so I must not have ever unlocked them on anyone. Or if I did, I did it at the end of an event and then forgot about it and never did it again. So
you can do it in groups,
I'll have to do it again. Yeah.
Those are fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out though. Next time it comes around, that'll be fun to do. Eventually, I guess I would want the other dye as module as well. I think it's brown and red or something like that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's not a bad. It's one that sounds like when I said brown and red, it sounds kind of weird, but it actually I like previewed it on some armors, and it's like on some of the armorings, it actually looks really, really nice. So,
yeah, it does. I like it too.
Yeah, a lot of times though, like the dark brown is really useful if you're looking for like a leather look or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's been a lot of times where I've bought brown dyes off of the GTN because like I have that one pair of boots that is supposed to be brown leather and everything else is black or gray or whatever. Yeah. It's like, but I really want those brown boots or those brown gloves or the brown belt. So more brown dye is probably actually more useful than white and pink in some ways. But whatever. I had fun. We had fun.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. I'll do that more the next time it comes around. And also, like I said, we're talking about for the Rat Ghoul. I'll be looking to do Loken's Loken at that point. Okay. So So tip of the week. I just put in a tip this week. So if you have something that you're looking for, just keep checking that GTN because I've gotten some interesting things recently, including the Data Cube missions, but also like just recently, I've just started like. When I realize there's something that I really like that's not too expensive, because unfortunately the 1 billion credit limit really makes some things that are from the GTN, they're just never going to show up. Like they're just way too expensive. But if there's something in like the 700 to 800 range, you can usually find them eventually on the GTN if you keep an eye out, and especially if it's less than that. Just keep an eye out, and eventually, eventually they'll show up. If you do have a tip of the week, send it to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next show for a chance to win a Tonfon, M83R, or M2B9 droid code courtesy of BioWare, plus a 450cc code from them as well. And that'll bring us to the Mind Trap. And let's see. So this time, I just decided to have some fun with this one. There are so many, but which voice actor does it most amaze you that we have in SWTOR? And it's a little vague, like people can take that different ways. But for me, what that meant is like, wow, we have and then I chose 3 that I knew that people would probably like for this sort of thing. Right. So Tara Strong, we actually have Tara Strong, who's like done so much voice acting, other regular acting too. We did a Cantina talk about all the ones that have show up in the thing here. But Tara Strong, she's the voice of Timmy Turner. She's like, she's one of the Powerpuff Girls. She's like done a million things that like people have really, really heard of. And she's in SWTOR. The second one, Nika Futterman, who of course is Asajj Ventress, so it's really cool that we have the voice of Asajj in SWTOR. Maurice LaMarche, who we just did the Cantina talk on him recently. And of course, he's really, really well known for being the Brain from Pinky and the Brain. He does a bunch of voices on Futurama. To me, that's sort of like an amazing one. Like, wow, like, like anyone who like voices a lot in like Futurama and like Brain from Pinky and the Brain. That's amazing that we also have him in SWTOR. So that's what I meant by amazing. But if people can take that any way they want. That's totally cool. And so we did that, and then there's an other so that people could respond with their own answers.
Right.
And so Tara Strong, we got 169 votes, so thank you for everyone who retweeted. Tara Strong won with 55% of the vote. Nika came in second with 13.6% of the vote, and Maurice LaMarche with 11.8% of the vote took in third. As far as the actual people, Other would have been second overall. So Other was 19.5% of the vote. We got a lot of people responding with some of their favorite voice actors or voice actors that they were amazed to find were in SWTOR or whatever. We actually got an answer from a SWTOR voice actor, which was really cool. DC Douglas. Yeah, DC Douglas. I double-checked to see what he did and stuff. And I had to Google myself to see if I was really in this. DC Douglas did. I voted for the uber-talented, award-winning mensch of an actor and human, Maurice LaMarche, which is awesome. And there is, in fact, a YouTube that I watched, but then I also looked up his IMDb for SWTOR, for DC Douglas. And yeah, he does a lot of the voices that ended up on the vendors. So if you've talked to the vendors, several of the male vendors you would be done by DC Douglas, and you would have heard his voice before. So I literally hear his voice like almost every day because of that.
Right.
So I actually responded directly saying thank you for that. Hellbore Arts wrote Eric Dellum's voice of Arkin, which is really cool. I responded to that as well because he's also the voice of Azir in League of Legends, which is practically the only other video game I play. And he's Azir in League of Legends, so I said, yeah, I loved him in Azir as well. And Eleva said, if people don't pick Nika Futterman, it's because they don't know she plays Lady of Pain in the Bounty Hunter story, which is my favorite SWTOR voice of hers. A clear homage to her role as Asajj Ventress, as well as the fact that she plays Treek. Diverse skills there. So yes, Eleva, absolutely. Shintar wrote Laura Bailey for me, so that's another big one. And I think a couple people did that one. Darth Mom said Athena Karkanis. You can hear so much emotion in her voice. The time it hit me the most was when Theron betrays you on Umbara. So so that'll be. There's a lot of these that we haven't done Cantina talks for. So believe me, the list of like future Cantina talk voice, people to do for Cantina talks went way up from reading these. Geijo Racek said Lacey Chabert, it's like a life-day miracle that we in the Bounty Hunter class got her. So yeah, because Lacey Chabert was in what is it called, Mean Girls. So like anyone who really likes that movie, it's amazing that you hear her voice, as Mako. Kitty Treats actually wrote in as well. This is a seriously cruel poll, chill, but I also have another in addition to Nika. Corey Burton, Cad Bane lives. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. In fact, he's going to be the Cantina talk today, so thank you, Kitty Treats. Cool. Yeah. Well, when I looked it up, it's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And then it turns out he's done a million other things too. We'll talk about him in a minute. Mav wrote in Kath Susi, which is another one we've done before, which is cool.
I love that people are so appreciative of voice actors.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes me so stoked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always thought it was just one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah.
When I was younger, and I still do. I have just such a deep appreciation for voice actors. I love it. And they always seem to be the nicest people, and they always seem to just absolutely love their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
1 sec, I'm gonna do their thing there. Okay. Fireblade wrote, I ran into one of the Imperial bases back in the day when SWTOR was still new during the first months after release, and I met the officer giving me my next planet story quest. I stopped, I exited the convo, and I restarted it again, and then my real life friend guffawed into VoIP when I said, that's Gideon Emery. Which is really cool. Yeah, for me, a moment like that is in the Warrior story, when you go to Alderaan, and the main guy that you talk to on Alderaan, you talk to him several times. He's the voice from Dungeon Keeper and Dungeon Keeper 2, and I absolutely because I loved that game back in the day, and he has a very distinctive narrator voice, very very gruff. Very deep. It's very cool voice, and he sounds exactly like it in SWTOR in that bit. So I had that sort of moment too. Let's see. And Chanting Way said there's so many. Mark Lewis Jones for me. He played Captain Kennedy in TLJ, The Last Jedi, and Letho in Witcher 2 and 3. He's Darth Decimus in SWTOR. Others I love are Darren DePaul, Lydia Leonard, Natasha Loring, James Arnold Tyler. We need some Mark Hamill and SWTOR, please.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then Ardent Nether wrote Jennifer Hale, who voices 3 characters in SWTOR, Satele, the female trooper, and Bastila. Troy Baker, who voices both Theron and Zenith. Gideon Emery Rivix, and my favorite of all time, Simon Templeman, best known for Kane and Loghain as an Imperial in the Bounty Hunter story. Very cool. Let's see. And then we did get some answers on Mastodon as well. Miss Raven especially wrote in, let's see, Jonathan Cake and Steve Bloom in about 100 roles, and Kif van der Heuvel, I'm not guessing that pronunciation, as Skavik is one of my favorites. Of course, Skavik, the bad guy from the Smuggler story. Darren DePaul, his Victorian, is the best. I spend a lot of time in game and feel like these actors are my friends. Tom Kane, always welcome, whether he's voicing a disgruntled Twi'lek or feisty Forex. So yeah, we love Tom Kane, and that's yet another one who we've done a Cantina talk about before. So there you go. A lot of fun. So yeah, go ahead.
Mine was, and I seriously did, when I first heard the voice, I went, wait a minute, I know who that is. And it's Space Biff. I forget the actor's name, but he played Biff Tannen.
He played all the Tannens in the Back to the Future movies. Yeah. And we did one about him too.
Oh, yeah, I love that guy.
That's Tom Wilson.
Immediately IMDb'd him.
Yeah, Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
He's a pretty funny guy. He actually, there's actually a really funny video of him. It's probably on YouTube because I think I saw it shared there, where he does a little thing about like how everyone asks him the same exact questions about Back to the Future, because that's certainly the thing he's known for most.
Right.
But I love him as the Twi'lek you spend a lot of time with on the let's see, is it Bounty Hunter or Agent? I want to say it's I'm pretty sure it's the Bounty Hunter story. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely Bounty Hunter because then the other guy in that same room dies, and he was friends with Mako, and Mako's sad about it. All right. So yeah.
Narshada.
Right. He's like the only one as far as I'm concerned, he's the only one who's allowed to pronounce it holo. Everyone else really needs to pronounce it hollow. But he's allowed to pronounce it holo because it's hilarious when he does it. We'll get him on the holo. And when everyone else sounds it sounds like they're just mispronouncing hollow. But the way he does it, it's awesome. It's because it's like he's from the Bronx or something. Right.
What
awesome.
was yours, Jill?
I put for me it was really between Maurice LaMarche and Tara. So I put Tara, but I could if you'd asked me on a different day, I probably would have said Maurice, because like they're both amazing. Like yes, Maurice LaMarche, like I'm a huge Futurama fan, but like my engagement gift to my wife was an original production cell of Fairly Odd Parents. So so there's a nice touch there too. Yeah, so actually let's go ahead and roll right into the Cantina Talk. So this is a segment which we do occasionally where we pick out a voice actor from the literally hundreds who have voiced for SWTOR over the years. And Kitty treats I looked at Corey Burton, it's like, well, yeah, we got to do Corey Burton. So first of all Star Wars fans should be thrilled to have him in SWTOR because he's the voice of Cad Bane. And so he was that in Clone Wars, he was in that in Bad Batch, and of course most recently Book of Boba Fett, sort of like the live action version, but still a voice acting obviously because it's he's a 3D character. He's also voiced Dooku multiple times as well. Basically, any time that it's not in the movie, like, or he can be arsed, to get like a really expensive actor. He's been like Dooku as early as 2002. So, yeah, he's been around a long time. He's a big player in the Disney arena. So he's been Dale in almost all the Chip and Dale incarnations for the last, 30 years, a bunch of other voices. He has a lot of narrator voices. Other places he's voiced are like, he's been several announcers on Animaniacs and, announcer type voices, like when they do fake commercials and stuff like that. He's the voice of Zeus and God of War. So if you're a God of War fan, he's in that. Hugo Strange in various video game incarnations of Batman. He's been Brainiac in DC Universe Online and other places. He's been Brainiac all the way back to the 90s. So pretty much if you know him, if you've heard Brainiac, he's going to have done that one. And he was... One thing I thought was fun, he was the announcer for Woody's Roundup in Toy Story 2. Like, remember there was that like fake, song and everything about Woody's Roundup, the big, when Woody is learning about this whole history that he didn't know anything about, and they do the whole thing about Woody's Roundup. And there's like an announcer voice, and that's him. So he did that. He was also uncredited as the high-pitched screechy voice of Judge Doom at the end of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, when he sort of lets him know that he was the real killer, and he talks just like this. That's him as well. Yeah. He was also Prince Ahmed in Aladdin. So Ahmed is this snobbish prince who tells Aladdin, "You were born a street rat, you'll die a street rat, and only your fleas will mourn you." That's him. Yeah, so he does that too. Really, really, like, he only has like 5 lines in the movie, but he's like really memorable because of that. So excellent job. But seriously, he's got hundreds of credits throughout the 80s and since, and especially for Disney TV shows and and video games. A few in movies, like I mentioned here, but mostly like Disney TV shows and Disney themed video games. But other ones too, DC, all kinds of other ones. He was also in KOTOR 2 as Batono, Captain Kadron, and Joran. I looked up the characters. Unfortunately, I don't know that game very well. I never really properly played it. I watched some of the videos to understand what the basic storyline was, but because I didn't play it all the way through, it's hard for me to even go on Wikipedia and kind of get an idea for how big they were. They looked like sort of like secondary characters. They were like, like mission givers and stuff like that. But still, they were using KOTOR 2. And for SWTOR, he has a bunch of credits, but we'll stick with the four biggest ones. So Darth Seravan, Jedi Master Jun Seros, Supreme Commander Ranz, and Baston. So Darth Severin is a pureblood Sith who joins Malgus when Malgus declares the end of the Dark Council and that he's making a new empire. That whole thing right around the end of the Ilum storyline. Mm-hmm. And then you actually meet him and hopefully defeat him in the flashpoints following Ilum. There's Jedi Master Jun Seros. This is the nemesis for the bounty hunter in Act 3, pretty much. So you see him, right. You hear about him several times, and you actually meet up with him and defeat him on Corellia. So if you've done that story, you know who he is. Supreme Commander Ranz, and he kind of talks like this. He has a voice almost like this.
Oh, yeah.
The head of the Republic forces on Ilum. You get to talk with him a lot during the Republic version of the Ilum storyline. That's Supreme Commander Ranz. Yeah. So that's Supreme Commander Ranz, and he's the one who at one point gets captured by the Imperials. You have to go get him back. And Baston, and he's a Voss who secretly had been duplicated by an Imperial. So he's actually an Imperial who got surgically altered to become a Voss, essentially. You meet him in the agent storyline, right, owning a tea house with his assumed family. And his assumed family has no idea that he's actually an Imperial, that he's not the original Baston. He really did a good job, apparently. And
yeah.
And so in the agent storyline, you talk to him a bunch. And that's all Corey Burton. And like I said, if you look at his IMDb, he's got so many credits because he's done he's been in the House of Mouse for a long time, and he's done the other stuff too. I'm not saying he's only done Disney stuff, but over the years, but clearly, he knows a lot of the people who work at Disney, and they clearly like working with him because they bring him back over and over and over and over again because he's done hundreds of things for Disney, and then he's done a lot of other video game acting and TV acting and some movies too, and that's really cool. So. Yeah, so thank you to Corey Burton for being one of the great voices in SWTOR.
Cool. I wasn't familiar with him. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have been either, but Kitty Treats brought him to my attention. And like I said, it's really cool that he's done some really fun things like Prince Ahmed and stuff like that. So excellent. Let's see. So let's go on to the next bit, and that's the holo feed. Really not a ton of news this time. The test server for 7.2.1 was stopped a while ago. It's I think it was a week ago Friday or something like that. But we haven't actually gotten 7.2.1 yet, and I don't think we even have a date yet. So clearly they're being very cautious because 7.2.1 is also because they did the 64-bit testing. Presumably they're also going to be making that the switch over to 64-bit. Clearly they're being very careful because you can't just make a sort of basic switch like that and if it turns out that it knocks a bunch of your game, your game base off, and they can't play the game for a while because of it, it's obviously that would not be good. So they're being very, 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 very careful, and I understand that. And but because of that, there hasn't been a ton of other news. We did, however, get the in-game events for March. It just dropped today. There's going to be 2 of them in March. One of them is, and neither this week. Like, this is just one of the clear weeks where there's no special event. The first one will be starting March 7th, the All-World Ultimate Swoop Rally. So that's coming March 7th through the 14th. And you go to the various planets, you do the racing and the various other things. And there you go. There's Swoop Rally mounts, gang outfits, promotion droid mini pets, decos, and more. And then later in the month, oh, that's right, they have the special tactical where you do you like move faster or something like that?
Yeah, what it is,
you mount up faster.
You mount up on your mount, you go really fast.
Nice. I might have to get one of those. That sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah,
because I could totally see like having, assuming it'll allow you to switch on the fly, just put them on your bar, put one tactical on your that's your actual tactical, and then the movement tactical for when you have to go a long distance. I know when we do the Ootini 500, they have to make sure that no one has the tactical on.
Yeah,
because it would be a huge advantage. Yeah,
Ducky has it. He showed it to me. It's like cruise.
I'll have to check that out.
Not for very long, but you're off.
Yeah. So there is going to be a Rakghoul event later in the month, so March 21st through the 28th, and it's going to be Tatooine. So there's a Thorn reputation to get, as well as the Merciless Seekers armor set, Thorn Epicenter and Dark Vector armor sets, so multiple armor sets, Outbreak Response weapons, the Dr. Loken Alliance Contact, which is what I'm going to be doing, Infected Varactyl and Infected Dewback mounts, Ferocious Rakghoul mini pets, and more. And that's always fun. And we usually the guild will do the special operation boss, like a one room boss fight for the Rakghoul, the Eyeless. Yeah, that'll be fun. Other than that, not too much going on. We got the Mandalorian season 3 is coming up tomorrow, and I know you're looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. We haven't heard too much about it, right? We don't really know like what the storyline is or anything.
Nothing set in stone, but I know that they're, of course, Star Wars fans love to presume. So,
right,
there's a lot of theories out there.
Right. Well, exactly. We saw, like, I guess Grogu came back to him towards the end of season 2 in the X-wing. So, presumably,
he went back with Luke, and then in
but then
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, and then he presumably hijacked an X-wing. and rejoined him. So so we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to that.
I can't wait. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Anything else, Kitty? You got anything going on with the stream, or are you just getting back into the swing of it?
Getting back into it. Looking forward to tomorrow. I can't wait. I can't wait. I miss you guys.
Excellent, then. All right, then. That's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Ootini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satil Shan server, or in our
Ootini Raid
Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Ootini to join the Ootini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast, or Mastodon @OotiniCast@Mastodon.world. You can find contact details for us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, streaming at twitch.tv/OotiniCast. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room.
Thank you, chat. We'll see you later.
And we'll see you next show. Let's see. And Kitty, do you have an idea for raid?
Yeah, let's do CamRecon.
Okay, let me get over here.
I'll put it in chat if you want.
Okay, I have to get over to the dashboard. Okay, let me look at it, yeah. Let's see, manage the stream.
Yeah, he's a GSFer.
Okay, CamRecon, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, raid. All right. Yep, he's doing SWOTO right now. Let's get going. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And let's see. Yeah. Don't think.
Everybody.
Yep. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. There we go. All right. And I'll go say hi to him. Let me also go ahead and stop the stream, stop the recording.